Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is October 15th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Big storm out over the Aleutian Islands there, powerful frontal system across the Gulf of Alaska. Some of this moisture is going to be making its way towards British Columbia and clipping the Pacific Northwest with the system as we go through the day tomorrow. And then we get a stronger system with this energy back here across the Pacific. It's going to race across and it's going to bring a more powerful frontal system across the region as we go through this weekend. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast. It continues to look active as we go on into the end of the month. So right now we're dealing with this ridging over the region in the wake of this big storm that hit California the last couple of days. You can still see that energy spinning across Nevada that is spreading some precipitation up across portions of Idaho towards southwest Montana and Wyoming as we speak. So taking a look at Quileute, Washington, northwest Washington coast, you can see not a bad day here today, but Thursday system brings a return to the clouds. A little bit of transient ridge on Friday, some sunshine out there, but then the next stronger storm system arrives as we go through this weekend. And you can see across the region, pretty darn right chilly this morning. A lot of areas it feels like you're in the 30s, but when you get to the reds of the Cascades and east, you feel like you're in the 20s, and some areas even in the teens when you take wind chill account into effect. Now, closer look again here, you can see Seattle, 39 degrees at SeaTac this morning. At least that's what it feels like. And then again, across the Cascades, much chillier. And if we scroll back in towards, let's go all the way on in through Thursday morning here. Another fairly chilly day here, but we should be modifying a little bit. But look at some of the temperatures today with some nice sunshine out there. It's going to be another nice day, although there will be a bit more cloud activity than there was yesterday. Now, it's not too late to get one of these weather stations before the weather starts to really ramp up here towards the end of the month of October. Easy to set up, all solar power, no moving parts. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. Now, taking a look at what is to come here. So this is as we go through the day on Thursday. See the frontal system moving into western BC. It's losing some of its punch as it goes through western Washington, but this is not the significant storm coming for us this weekend. Although it does drop some precipitation across the Cascades. We're going to scroll on in towards Saturday and Saturday night and look at this next much more robust frontal system. Look at that 986, 87 millibar low there pushing towards the coastline, bringing some decent amounts of precipitation, some cold air behind it as well. And that's going to keep the showers going on in through the day Sunday and probably wrapping up on the day Monday a little bit. Actually, it keeps going on Monday here, especially across the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. And then we got more to come after that, which we'll go over here in a minute. But look at total precipitation in inches. There's Thursday system right there. Not talking about a lot. You could get a few tenths of an inch precipitation across southwest BC, Washington, Cascades, especially across the higher terrain. More north of Vancouver Island, Haida Gwaii coastal areas there also. And then we scroll on in through the weekend and you can see the much more robust frontal system. I mean, look at Seattle. You're looking at 1.25 inches of precipitation. Portland up over an inch. Some areas 2-3 inches across the higher terrain in some of the coastal areas. Southwest BC, probably 2+ inches out of this. Vancouver Island getting a nice dose of rainfall as well. Hopefully some of that can get off into anything left out over east of the mountains. There may be something still smoldering, but for the most part, we're done with the big fire activity at this time of year. Now, positive snow depth change in inches. So there goes Thursday's system, just a skosh across the highest peaks there. But as we go through Friday, you can see a little bit better, maybe a little bit for Snoqualmie Pass as you go through. What is that? You're looking on the day Sunday, maybe a couple inches for Stevens Pass. Not a huge snowmaker for this one, but there is the chance later in the month that we get some more snowfall rolling across the region. So that would be ending about Monday night on October 20th. Now, who likes fantasy forecasts? Well, if you watch the channel for any length of time, you know I'm always looking off into the future to see what could potentially be coming our way. So let's go ahead and start with some of that because it's been showing this for a few days now and not much has changed on that front. But I'm going to show you some of these systems potentially coming our way. So here we are in the wake of that storm system across California. This is last night. There's the ridge. It's been giving us a nice couple of days here in the strong north flow across the region. We put this into motion and there goes Thursday system right there as the jet stream starts to reach the western coast of BC. But our stronger system is this kink out here racing across the Gulf of Alaska. We're now into Saturday morning and you can clearly see the storm under development and then it pushes towards the west coast of British Columbia. And again, that potent frontal system as we go on in through Saturday night, on in through the day Sunday. A little bit of a transient ridge. maybe another system after that, but then some deeper lows and some stronger storm systems continue to show as we go towards the end of the month. And look at this jet stream just ramped up across the northern Pacific Ocean, pushing towards the Pacific Northwest. Look at this 224 knot sustained speed at 34,000 feet. I mean, what are you talking about for 250 miles per hour? Just ridiculous wind speeds blasting towards the region, and that could be packing some powerful storms into the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to be watching that very closely over the next week or so. Now, taking a look at the artificial intelligence on the left versus the European, the regular one on the right. So we're going to put this into motion, and you'll see Thursday's system just, again, clipping us with a transient ridge for Friday, and then the stronger frontal system arrives as we go through this upcoming weekend, bringing some nice rainfall, especially Cascades west, especially across some of the higher terrain. And then we go on towards next week, another weak system kind of hitting us there as we go through next week, but then things get a bit more interesting as you see, look at this 943 millibar low across the Gulf of Alaska. And this would bring frontal system down towards Pacific Northwest as well. Got to watch for atmospheric river potential with something like this. Also, you see the artificial intelligence has the same low, but it is not quite as deep, but still just an absolute monster, 962 millibar low right off of Haida Gwaii. This is for next week. And then we go off into the future a little bit more, and they continue to throw haymakers here. But some of these get a lot closer to the Pacific Northwest. I mean, look at some of these low pressure systems and these power packed pressure gradients. Big waves out over the ocean slamming into the coastline here, and some additional storms off into the extended. I mean, look at this one on the last night's European model at hour 354. I mean, look at this 975 across the interior British Columbia. It's just kind of interesting fantasizing about, because this would be an absolute big blow here for a lot of the Pacific Northwest. But again, very low confidence in any one of these given solutions. Now, looking at last night's European run, what was I showing you just a second ago was yesterday afternoon. So here comes this weekend system rolling through there. A little bit of a ridging here, and then some deeper lows start to come across the Gulf of Alaska, and it continues to show some big storms out through the extended forecast. I mean, look at this 956 millibar low. Are you kidding me? That would be generating some huge wind and wave activity here across the Pacific Northwest if that were to verify. So fantasy, we're in a, if you like fantasy forecasts, this is the time for you folks, because it does look like we're going to get active, but again, low solution on any one of these given model runs. Now, if we scroll on in, you can kind of see how things are pretty benign out there over the Pacific Ocean. We're not looking at much in the way of wave activity. However, you can see it pick up across the Gulf of Alaska, start to hit Haida Gwaii with some big waves as we go on in towards this week. And you see the waves start to pick up a little bit here as we go through Friday night into Saturday. Not bad wave action, but nothing compared to what the extended is showing. There goes this weekend storm system. So as we go on in through the day on Sunday, waves will be increasing for some of the coastal areas. Might be some good wave watching on Sunday if you want to get out there. Stays a little bit elevated through Monday. A little bit of a break, and then you can see another round of waves here. But watch as these bigger storms start to roll in here. I mean, look at this one right there. Look at this absolute colossal wave action as we go on through October 26th, 27th. If one of these bigger lows gets towards the coastline there with the big fetch of wind. So yeah, crazy stuff showing up in some of the models. And the experimental products on the Climate Prediction Center continue to show the slight risk of heavy precipitation, heavy mountain snows during the later October period, and of course, risk of high winds. They might want to include some of Western Washington, Western Oregon with that, and some of the tracks of these lows have been, getting closer, and these could come across interior portions as well. If they're going to put this out, they might as well include the interior, right? And there's the 8 to 14 day above normal for the entire lower 48 states, including the state of Hawaii and some of Alaska. And 8 to 14 day, of course, with what we just looked at, this makes sense. The above average signal goes on in through October 28th. So check out the Patreon page if you want to throw some of your hard-earned money the channel's way. Patreon lets creators keep a good percentage of it. And also just a reminder, I'm doing the Worldwide Weather Watch page as well. So I'm going to put the link down below so you can click on that and subscribe and check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know of any ideas or places you'd like to see me cover. I'm going to do anything that's very interesting across the planet. I will not be doing those daily. I'm going to do that more likely when things are a bit slower here or in California. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.